ever wondered what would happen if cops stormed Dunder Mifflin and dragged Michael Scott away in handcuffs? Well, he'd be facing an insane amount of jail time, that's for sure.
I'm Prison Mike. Do you really expect me to not push you up against the wall, biatch? That's just the way we talk in the clink. Been a lot of fun talk about prison today.
From the most outrageous misdemeanors to shocking felonies that literally make Dwight seem normal by comparison, I doubt even the world's greatest defense attorney could help Michael get away with all these horrible crimes. The delivery was supposed to be all about Pam, but Michael is always guaranteed to steal the show, and always for the worst of reasons. Now, I don't know why Pam is working so close to her due date, but we don't have to talk about that. She starts getting contractions. She's going into labor, but wants to wait it out until midnight because her insurance company only covers 2 nights in the hospital. Michael calls a staff meeting to take Pam's mind off of what's going on inside her body and tells everyone to demonstrate any hobbies or special skills they have. Phyllis hangs her head in shame for wanting to put on lipstick the same way Molly Ringwald does in the Breakfast Club, and Andy performs an evolution of Dance Dance. Pam's contractions get worse, so Michael whips out some instructions on how to induce labor and suggests that they do the opposite.
I've printed out 10 ways to induce labor. And I'm thinking we just do the opposite, and we can slow down your labor. Aaron, read the first one.
Pam's water breaks, but she still refuses to go to the hospital. Eventually, the contractions become too much to bear, so she lets Michael, drive her to the hospital. And this will, of course, drastically increase her chances of getting into a car accident.
No, Jim, you are in no condition to drive. I will drive you. Check, got it.
They make it to the hospital in one piece, but Michael is too lazy to park his car in the proper place, so he selfishly occupies an ambulance-only spot.
Dunder Mifflin, it's okay.
You can't park here.
Yeah.
Thinking he's the third member in Pam and Jim's relationship, Michael barges into the delivery room without knocking, only to leave 2 seconds later in desperate need of eye bleach. Pam finally gives birth to a healthy baby girl, and I personally think all that hard work doing nothing has definitely earned Michael a relaxing smoke break inside the hospital. What about you guys?
Where's my little niblet? Halpert room D1. Family only beyond this point. Thank you. There we go.
Doing great. Push again. Don't push. Pull.
Why don't you get some more ice chips?
No, Jim, stay.
Okay, really push this time, Pam.
Okay.
I guess lung cancer from secondhand smoking was the first gift he wanted to bestow upon baby Cece. Texting while driving is the dumbest thing any driver can do, even though it's the most common thing any driver does, myself included. Michael will be sentenced to 30 days in jail and fined $300 for being so reckless. He'd also be fined $75 for smoking inside the hospital and slapped with a $100 fine for parking in an ambulance-only parking spot. I'm surprised nobody actually slapped him in the show, though. Did you know that Michael gets sick 40 times a year with no symptoms whatsoever? It's a total mystery, and Dwight is always gravely concerned. Anyway, despite being severely ill and practically knocking on death's door, Michael mysteriously makes a full recovery when he gets offered a job interview for a position in corporate. Despite there being no guarantee that he'll even get it, he takes the staff on a beach day so they'll have a beautiful memory to cherish when he leaves.
I want today to be a beautiful memory that the staff and I have passed on to New York.
Michael is also on the lookout for his replacement as the Scranton branch manager. And what better way to find the perfect successor than through a blindfolded egg and spoon race, hot dog eating contest, and sumo wrestling match that leaves Andy drifting out on the lake. Still unimpressed, Mike challenges his candidates to their toughest, most dangerous contest yet.
Meanwhile, the rest of us will have a super fun time defeating and creating a lasting memory. Walking through fire!
Michael agrees to try the coal walking first, and it shouldn't be too difficult. After all, he basically became a professional firewalker that time he burned his foot on a George Foreman grill. The terrified dork hilariously tries to stall everyone as long as he can, but before people actually start to become physically ill from secondhand embarrassment, Dwight sacrifices himself to prove that he has the guts to be regional manager. And he won't get off the rocks until Michael says the position is his.
Dwight, keep moving if you're gonna walk there.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
Give me the jump! Give me the jump!
I'm not going to give it to you.
Despite Dwight staying on a million-degree fire for almost 30 seconds, Michael says there is no longer a connection between firewalking and managerial positions. Nobody proves themselves by the end of the episode, but Michael can forget about that 0.5% chance he ever had of landing the job in corporate because you can't attend interviews from a jail cell. You need a fire permit to start a bonfire in certain places like beaches, so presuming Mike didn't have one, he'll be heading straight to the clink for the next 3 months and fined $500. What kind of sick and twisted individual would ever even consider faking a life-threatening emergency at sea? This guy right here. Michael is taking the office on a booze cruise on Lake Wallenpaupack in freezing cold January.
On a booze cruise on Lake Wallenpaupack. It's cheaper.
While he claims the getaway is simply a leadership training exercise, when the big night out commences, he literally takes on the role of a party captain and has the most tragic dance party ever.
Sometimes you have to take a break from being the kind of boss that's always trying to teach. Sometimes you have to just be the boss of dancing.
Before finally taking the stage and lying about the ship sinking, because disasters are apparently an effective way to boost motivation in the workplace.
Very urgent news I need to tell everybody right now. Listen up. The ship is sinking, okay? We're going down right now. Just wrap your heads around the reality of that. Shh, please, everybody, it's my turn now, okay? Captain Jack is gone. In 5 minutes, this ship is going to be at the bottom of the lake, and there aren't enough spaces on the lifeboat. Who are we gonna save?
People start scrambling around in mass panic while Michael continues rambling, and one guy even jumps overboard. While Michael should really be getting locked away for life for his awful dance moves, having zero rhythm isn't illegal, surprisingly. Lying about a sinking ship and causing mass hysteria, however, could get him charged with inducing panic. And if convicted, Captain Mike could be sentenced to 180 days in the Stony Lonesome and fined $1,000. I wouldn't be surprised if he paid that much to attend his lame booze cruise. I can't stress enough just how tragic Michael Scott's love life is. Like, the dude literally has to turn to animals for dating advice.
I think she needs more time or it's just never gonna happen. I'm being serious. Seriously.
His severely flawed personality has resulted in a long history of failed relationships, but at least he still has the decency to inform his exes whenever he contracts an STI.
I have herpes.
Couldn't even wait for the kid to leave the room. And don't think telling his exes about his herpes was some noble act. It was the bare minimum and basically insignificant when you consider the fact that he's literally shared Jans's nudes with everyone at the company.
So, Michael?
Oh, hey.
Sharing Jan's intimate photos without her consent is disgraceful behavior and illegal. It would fall under the crime of revenge. And if found guilty, Michael would be thrown in the slammer for a whole year and fined $1,000. Who is the most evil human being to have ever existed? Maybe some people would say Hitler, maybe Bin Laden, but for Michael, it's Toby Flenderson, a nice normal guy he loathes for simply existing.
I had a gun with 2 bullets, and I was in a room with Hitler, Bin Laden, and Toby. I would shoot Toby twice. Okay,
You were
all
being
right.
really funny, and then you went too far.
In fact, Michael actually despises Toby so much that in the episode Frame Toby, he literally tried to frame him for drug trafficking just so he would never again have to look at his rage-inducing face around the office. After finding out Toby's back at the office, though, Michael freaks out. Yeah, I'm about to show you that meme.
Great practical joke, Jim. Got me go to the annex.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
He glares at Toby for having the nerve to socialize with the other workers before pleading with David to give him the boot. Michael's told to get along with Toby, so he decides to become his friend, but after literal seconds of talking, he realizes it's impossible to befriend an evil snail like him. Seeing no other option but to get Toby fired, Michael throws the guy's Costa Rica photos on the floor like a playground bully and tries to bait him into punching him. The plan is to get him fired for workplace violence, but Toby won't even lay one finger on him. Accepting defeat, Michael storms off in a rage and stress eats a plate full of brownies. He's completely miserable, but Dwight knows one more way to get rid of Toby forever.
We were tipped off about a possible narcotic situation.
Pam, hey, I got this, okay? Hello, officers. Dwight Schrute, former volunteer sheriff. Now, I may have inside information that someone is hiding drugs in this very office.
We really need a spin-off show for Dwight. The storylines would be insane. Michael, of course, jumps at the chance to ruin an innocent man's life and immediately heads outside to buy some exotic tobacco from 2 warehouse workers.
A wire, so.
Why would you even say that?
It's gonna be $500.
How much?
500.
How many pounds is that?
It's 2 pounds. I'm losing money. I'm losing money. All right, walk away. Walk away. Walk away.
With the weed in hand, Michael returns to the office and hides the drugs in Toby's desk while Dwight calls the cops and reports that a drug dealer under the name of Toby Flenderson is on the premises. And when the police arrive, the evidence they find is absolutely damning.
Ah, that's mine.
No, Michael, no!
Yes, it's mine.
Salad dressing, I think.
Salad dressing?
Yeah, it's a caprese salad. It's a little bit of mozzarella right there.
Kidding me? It's my salad. So wait a minute, there's no drugs?
No.
Oh, damn it, come on!
We got a fake tip.
Wait, officers, are you sure you don't want to interrogate him?
No.
You have laws that protect you in any kind of interrogation. Why don't you use them?
The cops leave to find real criminals, and Michael presumably spent the rest of the day very red in the face. But what if he was arrested for wasting police time? Well, he could be facing as long as 2 years in the big house and a $5,000 fine. Pressuring Toby into fighting him could also get Mike charged with inciting violence, and the crime would add another 6 months and $500 to his sentence. Hey look, the fine is the same price he paid for that bag of salad. You gotta hand it to Michael. He really cares about Dunder Mifflin, and will do whatever it takes to get David on the phone, even impersonating his children's pediatrician.
I call the school. I tell them I'm a pediatrician. They pass me through to his secretary. I use my little girl voice. Bada bing, bada boom.
We never got to hear Michael's little girl voice, but I feel like it'd either be totally hilarious or one of the most disturbing things anyone could ever hear, or both. While he wasn't illegally practicing medicine or anything, merely pretending to be a doctor is still a crime. One that'll earn Dr. Michael 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. His bank account's gonna be drained by the end of this video. What is one thing that Michael Scott and Michael Myers have in common, other than their first names? Well, they're both creepy stalkers. Thankfully, Michael from The Office didn't kill his victim, though. Michael is head over heels in love with his new girlfriend, Donna, and as if almost making Angela vomit with their public display of affection wasn't disgusting enough, he, and I kid you not, actually holds a staff meeting to get ideas on what to do with his girlfriend when they aren't screwing.
For things that Donna and I can do on the weekend, so just shout it out.
I have an idea for your weekend. Let me go back to my desk right now.
Hey, you get out of here, big dog.
After finding out that Donna keeps her phone locked around Michael and never says I love you, the staff convince him that she's cheating on him. But instead of following Pam's advice to not let his imagination run wild, he wastes no time in hiring Dwight to stalk Donna and find out the truth.
Dwight Schrute.
Donna, hi.
All cases are solved with logic. The only logical way to find out if Donna is a cheater is to seduce her, bring her to orgasm, then call Michael and tell him the sad news.
While Michael eats a bowl of mayonnaise and black olives, the office is all out of ice cream. Dwight follows Donna around the gym, trying to seduce her with his sexiness on every piece of equipment.
One thing you need to know about me, I don't quit until something tears or pops.
Well, it turned out that Donna had been cheating after all, but on her husband, with Michael. Finding out he was the mistress all this time was heartbreaking, but he's gonna be even more bummed to discover he's spending 5 years in jail for stalking and has a $10,000 fine to pay. It's no secret that Michael's terrible with his finances.
I declare bankruptcy!
But did you know that he couldn't attend college because he blew all of his tuition money on a frackin' pyramid scheme? And what better way to learn from that life-ruining mistake than to join another pyramid scheme? This time a fully grown man. Face meet palm.
Raise your hand if you want to get rich.
How is this not a pyramid scheme?
All right, let me explain it again. Phil has recruited me and another guy. Now we are getting 3 people. The more people that get involved, the more people who are investing, the more money we're all gonna make. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se. I have to go make a call.
Promoting a pyramid scheme is actually a felony, believe it or not, and the penalty can be as harsh as 5 years in jail. The embarrassment of idiotically joining a pyramid scheme twice will probably last way longer, though. Well, that's half of Michael's shameful, embarrassing crimes down, and the boss from hell is almost spending 2 decades in the clink already and has $28,475 to pay. Right now, he still has a shot of getting released back into society one day, but as you'll soon see, that's not going to last for much longer. When Michael's not in the office, he's either at home dwelling on things that he probably shouldn't be, or blatantly trespassing in places he shouldn't be. In the episode Money, for example, he was running away from his responsibilities and thought he was athletic enough to jump onto a moving freight train.
Whatever you call it, I am running away from my responsibilities. Well, it feels good.
In new leads, some very important documents accidentally get thrown in the trash, and Michael trespassed in the dump to look for them, but just ended up having a garbage fight with Dwight.
Wait, time out, time out, time out. Time in. No!
None of those places are public property, so Michael will be spending the next 6 years in jail for trespassing, and he'll also have a $200,000 fine to pay. That sounds way too harsh if you ask me. And honestly, he deserves to get the charges dropped for being at the dump. I mean, a trash person like him clearly belongs there. I don't know why. I woke up today and chose violence. I'm sorry. There is no denying that Michael Scott is a pathological liar. From making Pam pretend he was a caller, waiting for him every 10 minutes just so he can seem important.
Oh, no. I don't have time for this. Tell him I'm in a meeting. So,
To promising to pay for an entire class of third graders to attend college 10 years ago.
sorry.
You lied to us.
I really wasn't surprised to find out that he's also lied under oath. In the deposition, Michael is on his way to New York to give a testimony at Jan's wrongful termination lawsuit. After surviving the car journey without puking, he swears under oath.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yay.
And almost kills everyone in the room with his cringiness.
Say why she thought she was being fired.
She thought it had to do with the twins.
Can you be more specific? Who are the twins?
To be delicate, they hang off Milady's chest. They make milk.
You don't need to go any further.
Before being caught blatantly lying about when his relationship with Jan started.
Relationship began 2 years ago and not in February as you previously testified to here.
Line.
Jan lost her lawsuit in the end, so Michael committed perjury for no reason at all. That's the crime of lying under oath, and if punished, Mike would be facing 7 years in jail and 250 grand in fines. Michael's got some pretty decent sales skills, I'll give him that, but he basically sucks in every other department of life, including driving without running people over.
The sales team, I feel very blessed.
The way she gracefully rolled off the car, though, like, can we get an instant replay? Meredith sustained a pelvic fracture and was treated in the hospital, while Michael broke the bad news to everyone at the office.
Meredith was hit by a car.
Where?
It happened this morning in the parking lot. I took her to the hospital, and the doctors tried to save her life. They did the best that they could, and she is going to be okay.
What is wrong with you?
If Meredith decided to report her boss for running her down, Michael would be charged with vehicular assault and could be imprisoned for 7 years and fined $5,000. I still don't know how he didn't see her, though. Michael had a super tragic childhood, you guys. That foreign exchange student who lived with him when he was a kid stole all his blue jeans when he went back to his home country. Like, I can't even begin to imagine how much therapy he had to endure as a result. And you'd think that a tragedy like that would teach him how wrong stealing is, but oh no. Turns out, hurt people hurt people. Michael grew up to be a serial thief and has shamelessly robbed an entire tray of sushi.
I'm sorry. You guys are gonna have to leave.
You know what? Come on, let's go!
The Utica branch's industrial copier.
The engine running. No, that is a terrible idea. Don't do this.
My hip bone! We're wedged. Ow! God! Ow, my leg tipped! Leave us!
A stinky beanbag chair straight from the dump.
Beanbag chair, that's perfect for the break room.
You're gonna sit on that disgusting shit.
Yeah, damn right you're not, because it's for me and Michael only! Yeah!
And technically a succulent Chinese meal because he left the restaurant without paying.
It's Michael.
He just left.
Industrial copiers can cost over $1,000, so Michael will be spending 4 years in prison and fined $5,000 for stealing that alone. The rest of the stuff was just petty theft, but will still take his sentence up to 7 years and $8,000 in fines. Just imagine all the sushi and Chinese food you could have bought with that money, Michael. When people hear the word nepotism, they might think of Northwest and the Lion King, but you don't need to be a celebrity's child to get special treatment. You could, for example, score an internship at a boring office if your uncle's the manager. Michael's teenage nephew, Luke, has started an internship at Dunder Mifflin. It's super boring for him, but hey, at least he didn't have to participate in the office's humiliating and slightly terrifying dance video. At The video got posted on the internet, it definitely went viral, and not because of Michael's magic tricks. Luke finally arrives at the coffee he was sent hours ago to pick up, but he's got all the orders wrong. The rest of the staff beg Michael to fire him, but this internship is his only chance of reconnecting with his half-sister who cut him off years ago for losing baby Luke in the forest. While Luke is off buying ice cream for the office ice cream party, Michael calls a staff meeting with the subject, "Don't bother Luke." Everyone agrees that he's a little twerp who deserves to be treated badly, and honestly, I'm on their side because just look at what he brings back from the store.
Soy ice cream. Did you get real ice cream?
Or enough for everyone?
It doesn't take long for the staff to discover another epic fail on Luke's part. All those important packages he should have been sending off, well, they're still in the trunk of his car. Bennett immediately calls Michael and orders him to fire Luke, but he doesn't have the heart to do it.
Okay, now educate me why you won't fire the boy.
You don't have all the facts.
Which are?
I love him.
Oh, God. How far has it gone?
After clearing up that Luke is his nephew and he's not a pedo, Mike agrees to cover his nephew's ass like moss on a Mississippi tree stump. And while he does do his best to stop Luke from making any more mistakes, the kid can't even aim a laser pointer at the presentation.
On that first. Then a whole new no. Luke, not on Oscar's head. All right. Luke, stop it.
What? I'm stopping it. That's what you said.
Give me...
So you just want me to move it? You're being totally unclear here. I'm just gonna go ahead and move it.
No, just pound no.
Michael lets Luke leave, but he continues bugging everyone from outside the conference room. After Andy almost gets blinded by the laser, the staff tell Mike to do something, but instead of saying, "Luke, you're fired, please leave," he does this.
You are going to learn to be more professional, Luke. That's what you're going to do, Luke. What the hell was that?
To do that.
Luke ran away crying like a little baby and probably trash-talked the whole office on Twitter as revenge. But dang, can you imagine if Michael had done that to Tate from American Horror Story? We should totally cover that. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know who I'd cover on that, but let me know if you want us to tackle like horror movie villains. I think that'd be a crazy idea, like Pennywise. Holy frick. Anyway, Michael's stress-induced outburst earned him 6 sessions of counseling with Toby, but in real life, he'd be getting sentenced to 10 years in jail and fined $5,000. He'd 100% choose a life sentence over interacting with Toby for more than a minute, though. Forget Date Mike, Destroyer Mike is a much more fitting name for an alter ego. I mean, just listen to all these idiotic ways Michael has destroyed stuff. In Did I Stutter, he defaced some wet cement by putting his face in it.
Force it in as deep as you can.
Today's a very special day for me, and it's really not about me. It's about my grandkids. It's about my great-grandkids. I can come back here when I'm 100, and I can find that piece of cement and say, "That's me. Look, kids, your daddy left that face hole."
In Boys and Girls, he thought driving a forklift truck would be a piece of cake.
Mike, get off of the lift, please.
I'm fine.
Come on now.
I'm fine.
Here we go. Would you get off of the...
We'll get somebody to clean that up.
Gotta clean that up.
In Lecture Circuit Part 2, he found out Holly had a boyfriend and creepily cut off a sleeve from her sweater as a keepsake. In Viewing Party, he became bitterly jealous that a weenie like Gabe was more popular than him and tried to ruin his party by cutting the cable going into his apartment.
All right. And the winner is, by 2 votes, Sam and
What's going on?
Then in safety training, he wanted to fake his own suicide and prove to the ignorant sluts at the office that depression isn't just a fancy word for bummed out. But when he went to test out his genius plan, this happened. Lastly, in Classy Christmas, Michael evilly murdered Holly's beloved Woody doll purely out of spite that she was dating someone else.
Sure about that.
You think this is funny?
Don't. But someday I think we will laugh about this.
Yikes.
Oh, that is
God in heaven.
6 counts of criminal damage would earn Destroyer Mike 18 years in prison and a $300,000 fine, but maybe he could get away with that last one by convincing the prosecution that Woody came to life and damaged himself. I didn't think there could be anything more petty on this earth than Michael Scott's plans to have 100 kids just so he could have 100 friends who couldn't say no to being his friend. But then I found out that the guy legit kidnapped a minor all because of a stupid coupon. Mike is supposed to be heading to a super cool party in New York filled with sushi and very important people people like him, but only after he's got in the car and driven miles out of Scranton does he realize he was the only one invited to attend the event online.
And there's a password to get in. Password. So.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Invitation to an online party.
No. No,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not.
Are there 3 W's at the beginning of the address?
Yes.
Yep.
Genuinely curious to know what Michael's IQ is. It must barely be room temperature. After throwing the green eggs and ham book he was reading on the floor in rage, Michael has a little cry on the drive back to the office. And when he arrives, he's determined to make his party as cool as the one Ryan wouldn't let him attend in person. He gives a long list of everything he wants at the party to Angela, and while she's off trying to find ice sculptures and someone famous, Michael orders the food from a pizza place that, according to Kevin, tastes like a hot circle of garbage. The teenage delivery guy arrives, and Michael wants to pay using a half-price coupon, but those are only valid for 2 pizzas.
I ordered 8 pizzas with a half-off coupon, so I would like 8 pizzas. End of story.
Great story. It's $63.50, and that's.
I'm not giving that to you.
Bro, what year was this episode filmed? $63 for 8 extra large pizzas? Sounds insanely cheap by today's standards. Michael refuses to pay without a discount, so the pizza guy refuses to hand over the order. But instead of just letting the kid go and leaving a strongly worded review on Yelp, Michael is willing to literally hold the kid hostage until he accepts the coupon.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And you will come out when you decide to give me a discount on the pizza. Please. Thank you.
Stupid.
Yo, you don't even know what stupid is. Stupid up in here.
The teen is left imprisoned in the conference room with Dwight guarding the door. Michael returns later on to see if the kid is ready to surrender the pizzas, but he still refuses. Even more pissed off than before, Mike starts verbally abusing the poor kid, but just gives a totally accurate description of himself.
Little snot-nosed punk kid who thinks he's better than everybody else because he's some hot shot. And you don't know anything about sales. So stop being a disrespectful little jerk.
At this point, the pizzas must be stone cold, but Mr. Overdramatic Darren over here is still hell-bent on getting that discount and actually calls the manager of the pizza place to demand a ransom of free pizzas in exchange for the release of the delivery boy. A very hangry Kevin appears and demands Michael order some good pizza. The new pizzas arrive just in time for the party to kick off, but I guess the mood was kind of brought down by a kidnapped child sitting in the corner. Only after the teen tells Ryan through the webcam that he's being held captive does Michael pay for the pizzas and leave an incredibly generous 10% tip. But had the cops burst in to rescue that poor child, Michael would be charged with child abduction and sentenced to 25 years in prison. He'd also be getting fined a pretty hefty $50K. And no, Michael, you can't use a half-price coupon for that. But imagine if you could, though. I'm sure an embarrassing moment Michael cringes about in bed at 2 a.m. is that time he bragged about being tough enough to beat up multiple black belts at once, but was almost unalived from 2 punches to the gut from Dwight.
Yes, Droid.
Okay, I'll punch you.
Oh, okay, here we go. All right, come on. Go! Oh!
I guess that's fair, though. Like, Michael did just choke Dwight a few minutes before that.
You are the weakest link. Oh! I'm friends with everybody in this office.
At this point, Michael may as well put delusion as a skill on his resume. I mean, only he could literally strangle his employees and still think everybody's in love with him. Going all boa constrictor on Dwight was assault, as was this little accident Daryl told us about in safety training.
This particular time, I was reaching for a supply box on the top shelf when one office worker, who shall remain nameless, kicked the ladder out from under me and yelled,
Hey, Daryl, how's it hanging?
and I fell and busted my ankle, and I'm legitimately scared for my workers.
If Michael was prosecuted for those 2 counts of assault, he'd be locked away in the slammer for 64 years and forced to pay a gigantic $1.5 million fine. He'll have to send Dwight to rob a bank, I guess. If you all thought Michael the Flasher was a perverted weirdo...
He's back!
Wait till you see what the creep did in The Office's 2009 Super Bowl promo. Oh yeah, we're going there.
Football, it is common for a coach or a player on the bottom for a job well done. But what do you do? Let somebody know that they have done a really good job.
No.
What are you doing? Nice work with that new client. That huge!
Michael, I reorganized my files.
Don't be a suck-up.
While Dwight was desperate enough to get a slap on the ass from his boss, everybody else in the office became scared of putting even adequate effort into their work for fear of Michael assaulting them. Like, just look at Kevin backing into a corner terrified after Mike thought he did a good job with the spreadsheets.
You did a great job on the spreadsheets.
No,
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You're being modest.
No, I'm not.
Slapping people's butts without consent is sexual assault, so assuming Michael gave at least one celebratory butt slap to everyone in the office except that suck-up Dwight and Toby for obvious reasons, he'd be charged with 12 counts of sexual assault and sentenced to 84 years in prison, plus a staggering $180,000 fine. He could have bought everyone front row Super Bowl tickets with that money. Actually, who am I kidding? No, he couldn't. If we tally up all of Michael Scott's disgraceful crimes, he's facing a grand total of 247 years in prison and has a bank account destroying fine of $2,526,457 to pay. He's lost his job and his freedom, but what about these characters? How bad did they screw up? Click the screen to find out.